Smoking Suvi sommelier-ish, ukulele J.
Hey everybody, Ukulele Jane. Today is Saturday, Smoking Saturdays. You know what that means? That's right, we're firing up the Yoder in the back, we're getting our smoke on, and we're going to be doing a Boston butt today. Probably go around 4 or 5 hours. It's a 4.5 pounder. This thing is going to be amazing. I've got a mixture of rub that I created with Cosmos Q, Killer Honeybee, and some barbecue rub. Put that together, and then I'm going to be doing something on top of that inside the Mangalitsa that nobody's done ever. This is #1 in the world. You've seen it first. This is the premiere. I am actually going to be injecting my butt with what the doctor ordered, Dr. Bill's cane and maple syrup. I'm making a blend. It's going to go inside this pig. It is going to make it not only succulent and tender, which the Mangalitsa already is, it's going to be infusing that with incredible flavor, that moisture. Going to thin out the syrup a little bit. We're going to use some apple cider vinegar, some red wine vinegar. I got some salt and pepper. Wait until you see this.
Look at this incredible piece of nice red Mangalitsa pork butt. One of the things that's going to be really important is to make sure we have a really nice injection going. I'm going to use one of my spray bottles that I use. It's a smaller one. It's great for mixing things and sticking in a tube if you want to pump some stuff out. But I'm going to go ahead and use this and pour my Dr. Bill's cane and maple syrup into the bottle, and we're going to make sure we use a nice amount. Whatever you use, that's what I consider 2 parts for this particular injection. You can use different, sizes and different degrees of syrup, but that was my 2 parts for this cook. I've got a part of red wine vinegar that I've put in as well, and I'm also going to use some apple cider vinegar. We're going to put that in, and the other thing that I put inside that I haven't shown that I do put in at some point is the Anjou pear vinegar. I put those together, and I'm going to go ahead and shake up this bottle really good. And what I'm doing is I'm thinning down the solution because I'm going to inject this through an injector into my butt. And of course, I've got to make sure that the injection is going to be thin enough that it doesn't clog up the injector. So here I'm going to go ahead and do my final taste test. I always taste whatever I cook to make sure it's good. And if I can drink it plain and it's delicious, then I know it's going to be absolutely incredible.
Now we're going to go ahead and taste our mixture. We want to make sure that we get that sweetness in there with the vinegar sauce. That's going to be absolutely incredible. Oh man, I could just drink that stuff. It's so good. It is sweet for sure. You've got that vinegar bite on the back end. Gets the acidity, that pucker factor going. And now I think it's time we inject our butt. We inject our Boston butt. And I got to tell you something. I got it special for this episode. I've actually had it, but I'm going to use it. If you saw the doctor coming in to inject you with this in your butt, I don't know what would happen, but it's not going to happen. So we're going to inject this butt. And here we go with some Dr. Bill's cane and maple syrup blend, my homemade injection with some Cosmos Killer Bee and barbecue rub mix that I'm going to put on the end of this thing before we throw it on the smoker. Here we go.
Now when you inject your butt, you're going to go ahead and use that needle and put it in at different angles. And you want to make sure you get it really well throughout that meat. Don't worry about the holes. It's not going to dry out the meat. You want to make sure that you get a good amount of injection throughout the entire pork butt. And that leakage is going to allow you to cover that with some rub that will help you with that incredible bark that you're going to see once you go through your smoking process. As you can see, I just coated it really well. My final injection, getting it on the sides, the back, and then we'll be all set to rub this baby and get it going on the smoker. Now for our next doctor's order, we're going to have to rub our butt really well after our injection. The key thing is getting it all over. You're going to go heavy. Don't worry about it. We're going to use some Cosmos Q Killer Bee honey rub. It's, I think, absolutely my favorite. And I mix it with some barbecue rub that I do. And having that together, it's going to give you that sweet, tangy outside crust that's really incredible. I do a double rub. What that means is I'm going to put the rub all over, and I'm going to let it really saturate with my injection. And then after that, I'm going to put another coating of my rub on this and make sure that we can't really see any meat through the rub. And that's going to allow us to slow down the smoke process. That smoke's going to really infuse into that rub on top of that crust and get that bark going really, really well because of that fat cap on top. People ask, do you smoke fat cap down, fat cap up? This is a Mangalitsa. You definitely want to smoke the fat cap up. This is not your normal type of pig. This is a monounsaturated fat for the most part, and it isn't going to be something you see running down the tray and making a whole mess underneath. And you'll see that at the end of the video. But basically, you want to coat everything really well and you will be all set for the most incredible smoked Boston butt you've ever had in your life. This is 100% black cherry wood smoking today, and when I do my Boston butt, I just love cherry wood. In goes our cherry pellets in the hopper, and we're all set to heat up. Now it's time to get that smoker up, get that butt on, and wait until it finishes. We've got an ambient temperature probe, 2 probes on each end of the butt shoved towards the center to make sure I can hit my final temp of 203 degrees, which is what I'm looking for on this cook. On our 1 hour mark, we're going to check our 640 and look at my butt. Isn't it absolutely stunning? I mean, the color is just gorgeous. Remember that injection from earlier? Well, that's going in our bottle. We're going to keep that and use that to spritz our butt. About every hour, go out, check it out, and give it a good spritzing. And at 203, we are at scintillation state. Look at the color, unbelievable. So far, I've injected my butt, I've rubbed my butt, I've smoked my butt, took it off, and I wrapped my butt for 1 hour. And when you unwrap your butt, it is going to be the best looking butt you've ever seen in your life. This is scintillating. This is Mangalitsa. This is the finest pulled pork you will ever make in your life. Now get your favorite gloves on, because this is going to be hot even after an hour of resting. But this Mangalitsa is going to be incredible. It is just going to pull apart. It has a fantastic texture. The crust along with the fat is going to be incredible. You want the fat. That is what Mangalitsa is all about, is the fat with the incredible type of meat. Go ahead and break it up, and you're going to be ready to plate it up for a fantastic meal. And here is the final product. Look at that pulled pork. Look at that crust mixed in there. This is amazing. And now we're plated up with our Mangalitsa pulled pork, some incredible baked beans using Dr. Bill's maple syrup instead of molasses, because I don't like molasses, and some incredible vinegared slaw with smoked bacon. This is what the wait is worth. This is the best part, the bark of the Mangalitsa fat. Crispy, melts in your mouth. Just want to keep that going. That's all she wrote, folks.